What prevents you from fully embracing yourself as you are in this moment? Essentially, it's that there's parts of you that you either consciously or unconsciously don't like. And when you don't like a part, you try and repress it. It's a threat to you. You actually view parts of yourself as threatening. Maybe they don't lead to acceptance in the environment that you grew up in or are presently existing in. So you got to push that down. And when you push it down, it of course doesn't really go anywhere, but it tries to break through all these barriers that you've trapped it behind. And this is uncomfortable. This is just inner conflict. So there's these various parts of you, sub-personalities, that try and get various needs met. And the key to embracing yourself is by establishing a harmonious relationship, and relationships really, between all these inner parts of you. The part of you that criticizes you, or the inner child, or the part of you that has this belief or that belief. There's a lot of forces in you that run counter to each other, and they're very polarized inside of you. And without going into these elements of yourself, these problems will never resolve themselves. They're just going to stay there forever. It requires awareness and intention to actually move into these aspects of who you are and properly integrate them. So these parts of you want to get needs met, they want to keep you safe, and they're not bad parts, no matter how bad they appear on the surface. All these parts of you are actually trying to protect you. They're playing various roles that they are stuck in, due to past conditioning. Right, let's say you get wounded at age 7. That part of you that gets wounded doesn't continue aging. It basically kind of remains stuck there, frozen in time, playing out those same patterns of protection repeatedly. So that fraction of you still believes that it's protecting a 7-year-old, it's protecting a 9-year-old. It doesn't recognize that you're probably an adult and that you can actually investigate these aspects of yourself and process them and come into inner wholeness. Instead, it's keeping it kind of pushed away because it was so overwhelmed at one point and it got just stuck in that role. And then, of course, we have the element of kind of taking responsibility for what's going on inside of you. Do you ever kind of check up on these parts? Do you ever connect intentionally to the inner child? Do you have any kind of structure in your life for just kind of connecting to your inner world and like really listening to it? Something in your daily life where instead of just ignoring yourself repeatedly and just neglecting yourself, you actually give time to nourish yourself in your inner world, giving it conscious attention. This is a need. You need to shine consciousness, to shine conscious attention on your inner world of feelings, thoughts, parts, sub-personalities, on your shadow, in order for it to keep functioning properly, in order for you to be well. And when you don't do that, essentially you're just kind of running on autopilot. All this old conditioning is just controlling you. And of course, there's no alarm that goes, we're being ran by old conditioning. You just experience this as just life. This is just how life is. This is just what it is. This is just how it works. When in actuality, it's just a pattern that you're stuck in. So all these parts of you are actually valuable. It's just that when they get wounded, they kind of contract, they shut down, they hold on to very rigid beliefs that were once needed to keep you alive. They hold on to emotions that are too dangerous to be felt. They don't trust you. You don't even give them attention. You might neglect these parts. So these aren't bad parts. Essentially, it's like a neglected child. Right? What does a child become when their parents treat them horribly? Right? They become thieves and rapists and murderers and bullies. Right? All of these sort of very frustrated, agitated, survival-oriented actions. Like they don't really go anywhere. They just kind of stay there, and they're just stuck in fear. Right, so when a child is severely neglected, of course, this has a lot of damage on the kid. Not that every neglected kid is going to end up being a murderer or rapist, like I said, but that ends up being a fairly common story where someone who is an oppressor was actually previously oppressed. Someone who was the victim, oh my god, look at this awesome bug. Someone who was the victim of some kind of assault ends up taking on some of that energy and then repeating the pattern. Part of them just needs power in order to feel secure, and in that particular experience it couldn't find it. So it kind of latched on to the only form of power in that experience it could find, which was the oppressor. And it internalized it. So these parts aren't bad, right? Any part of you isn't bad. It's actually very valuable, and it's trying to simply keep you alive. They're all very much worthy of attention. And when you actually start to nourish them properly, they heal and they open back up. Rather than being contracted and tense and acting purely out of survival, they heal, they open back up. You feel naturally more present, naturally more calm, naturally more alive. Naturally, you want to nourish these parts of yourself because you see them like inner children. They really are like inner children. When you're not giving your attention to them, it's like you're letting children run your inner government. And of course, you don't really want children running your government. They don't know what they're doing. They're kids. So why would you want children to control your world? Of course, instead, you don't want to oppress them or push them down, but you want to give them their rightful place, a place where they can be at ease. You want to give them what they need so that they can be well. And what I'm advocating for you to do in this video, if you desire, is to start checking in on these parts of you. To start turning towards them rather than against them, to get curious about your inner experience rather than remaining in a judgmental attitude towards it, in this oppositional attitude towards yourself. You just get curious about what's actually going on. You kind of calm down a little bit, you get curious, you get a little bit compassionate, you learn how to be present with these parts of yourself. You intentionally meditate to connect to these parts of you so that your inner system functions properly. Rather than you always kind of subconsciously acting out of these old patterns that are purely based on survival. You actually don't have to be stuck in them. And the change can be difficult because these patterns once helped you to survive. So these parts of you can be very, very attached to them, because to remove these patterns is like, are we going to be able to survive? Because I needed this to survive. But again, you can actually tune into this part of you and give it the support that it actually needs. You can tune into this aspect of yourself and treat it like you would a real child, like an actual living child when it's in distress. Hold it with care and love and nurture and protection, rather than hating it, oppressing it, being in opposition to it, neglecting it. So what's preventing you from fully loving yourself right now? It's essentially your neglect towards your own inner world. What's preventing you from really loving yourself in this moment? It's the fact that you don't get to know yourself. It's really just as simple as that. You spend no time getting to know who and what you actually are. You don't spend any time just being aware of yourself. Totally committed to just being present and conscious and focused on, what am I? Like, what's going on inside of me? And what fundamentally am I, even just beyond my ego, beyond my separate self? And the more that you learn how to just rest as awareness and actually give it to yourself and all the parts that need it, naturally you feel more connected to yourself. You just feel more alive, you feel more present. You feel well, you'll feel less reactive. You'll feel more confident. You'll be more caring towards other people because this inner struggle that you have, you'll be able to see it in other people as well. And you'll see how this drives so many of the problems that exist on our planet as well. There's an old quote, and I'll end the video on this. I forgot exactly who it's by, but it's a really good one. It's mankind's problems stem from man being unable to sit in a room by himself for an hour. Not that I say that's 100% true. Of course, mankind's problems stem from a lot of things. But it definitely points to something that's worth exploring. Definitely a lot of value in that particular quote. So you got all these sub-personalities, all these parts of you that need care. And you have to be an inner parent to them. Right? You're your own primary caretaker. There's no one else that's going to do this. You need to be the primary caretaker of your own parts. And then the people around you who support you, ideally you have a supportive network, they can be like the secondary caretaker, like your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife. When they're available, they can be the secondary caretaker. But you have to focus on being the primary caretaker because no one is ever going to come in and fix this because they're not you. They're not experiencing themselves as you. You don't really have access to this. Only you can really dive into all these things. No one else really can. No one else is going to be able to create a continuous relationship with your parts. That's just not ever going to happen. That's not even possible. It's you. Your parts need to feel safe being inside of you. You need to learn how to make your own mind an emotionally safe environment. You need to make your inner world more emotionally safe. You have to learn how to contain your emotions with care and pure awareness. And naturally, you'll find yourself opening up more rather than being stuck in the old. That doesn't serve you. So that's it for this video. If you're interested in working with me one-to-one, you can apply to do so. Link is in the pinned comment. See you later.